example that people didn't respect the dog, the value, what they were worth, and what the breeders were doing at the pack, and at the time they just called them peddlers and stuff. But the blood right now is in use in these dogs, but you gotta know when to use it and how to use it. It's the pure red boy dogs. Can't even find one no more now. Everybody has crossed them almost all right now. You know what I'm saying? Or people turn them down because they just thought they were pedal. They were stat pedigree. Now, right now, at this day of time, or even if you waited like about 10 more years, a pure red boy dog bred like how people shitted on, they'd be hard to find. You know what I'm saying? Same thing you're going to see, watch with the Mayday stuff. Mayday's at its peak and stuff, and dogs real tight at its peak. But over a course of time just does it to every line. They'll eventually, die down, and people will be looking for this shit again.
But there's more of the education. I think there's more of the education now. Because there's some young dudes that watch this. Like one of my partners.
Yeah.
He had his little nephews watching it.
But this is the thing is everything gets closed one way or another. The young dude, he might got the money, and a lot of times the young dudes, depending on how young they are and what reasons they get into the dogs for, they might get out the dogs and sell them just because they had a family. You might have one motherfucker, get caught up with the dogs. One motherfucker, whole yard gets sick. There's lots of ways where yards are not around also. You know what I'm saying? You can go back in history and just say, man, hey, what happened to this kennel? Remember how rebel kennels were? You know what I'm saying? Back in the 80s and shit, 90s, if you heard about, there was the shit. We probably would have never thought in the future that kennel was never going to be heard of for 30 plus fucking years. You know what I'm saying? You look at, even Patrick dogs now. You know what I'm saying? Even they're still not as hard to get, easy to get, but they're not as easy as they used to be. But, no one never really seen the Patrick stuff about to just, be so much sought after again. He's not breeding. You know what I'm saying? You can't just call him up and see, got a motherfucker with all you have to do is at one point in time, you call Patrick, and wherever the fuck he got in his yard, you can just go get some. Man, one motherfucker everybody talks shit about when I was younger, who I liked to get dogs from his Berkshire. Now you can't even fucking find them goddamn dogs in the correct way. Tataka, the bitch, Johnny Winchester, sell her for $2,000 a piece. That was even to me. He told me $2 bands. You know what I'm saying? I know one dude who got it. He got a real work, and he got it from he actually sells his dogs at a more reasonable price, $1,000. You know what I'm saying? There go Beast the Source, doesn't it? That right there. And his bears are way better looking than hers. He ain't breeding for color too. But so there's a wave of it when you get these dogs. What I'm trying to say is them dogs, you keep that dog in 10 years from now, especially if it's a male, you'll see the value. Like, damn, this nigga had that shit. The dude, the blood that I got, what Crash is, I remember D2000 had the brochure of it when dude bought the shit from Ronnie Duhan. You know what I'm saying? And then he got out of the dog. That was like 20 plus fucking years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, them dogs like that are bred up, and people be like, oh man, them was just pretty pairs. Them dogs be fucking valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like, when last time you seen a pure red boy dog?
No, there's
know what I mean?
There's some pure red boy dogs.
But it's not as rampant as they used to be. But everybody calls them, and they're now, you know what I'm saying? They're a good commodity to have.
They look like people bringing it back though.
Yeah, they're bringing them back out. But are they bringing it back with the right dogs and for the right reasons?
That's
they can come back, huh?
That's something that a lot of people will speculate and say that's not. Like a lot of people, I hear people say, and it's kind of like they know what other dog men are doing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll say like, they'll imply like, get it from somebody that's working or like everybody else is not working it or whatever, and this is all people do is do this and do that, but it's like
Mhm.
it's hard for me to find out what the guy next door is feeding his fucking dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like my next door neighbor, it's hard for me to know what the fuck he feeding his goddamn dog. So it's kind of hard for you to find out who's working their dog all across the country. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't really know if they're breeding it for the right purpose or the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, that would be silly of me to try to speculate on that. You know, I'm not omnipotent. Like, you know, I don't know every fucking thing. You know, I don't know if you're naughty or nice and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Hello.
Yeah. No, I'm here.
Oh.
Now we just cooking up. We cooking up. You know. So what do you think? What do you think? The difference between frozen semen and live semen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we touched a little brief earlier when I was in the wet. You know, I wasn't at the studio, but what
I'm not versed to answer that question. I got some semen. I got some frozen semen I just recently acquired. I got, the motility rate and all that stuff, whatever. But I don't. You maybe could answer that question more than I could.
Well, no, I was just, as far as, like I know it's no. Oh yeah, he liked him. He liked him. You're definitely gonna get, I think, the same type of specimens, as far as the DNA and everything like that. But
okay, is that what you did? Is that what you was asking?
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Okay.
versus, because it was a lot of myths going on saying that the frozen breedings weren't really producing as good as the live breedings, and
or just the dogs just didn't produce. I just think with that, there's a lot of people who think that because I hear a lot of people say they'll be like, we'll name a champion a working dog off of frozen semen. Generally, when people freeze semen, they use it for preservation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna see no champion most of the times, or no work dog or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're just talking about just for hypothetical purposes.
Right.
So, but I would say that the blood is always going to be there. The DNA is there. Just like any other breed. I don't see how if it works, it works. It was going to work whether the dog was alive or dead.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think they're just more expendable when you got live, and people, I guess they treat it, a little different when you got the live, because there's a lot of money that goes into some of these breedings, and even if you're on the receiving end and you're buying a puppy, it's not going to be cheap. Like I can't name 10 frozen semen breedings that's going down where you can get a puppy even under, $4,000 or $5,000. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, when people make that type of investment, there's no way to tell the actual quality of that dog. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's like the source too, right?
Yeah.
Somebody, so let's say, because I always got to use my dog, for instance, Michael Myers, let's say I breed him up and sell every damn thing, I probably got one daughter and one son when he dies, you know what I'm saying? At a 20 breedings or 20, you know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of goes back to where, you say, if people believe in the dog so much, why don't they have so many off of them, right?
Right.
Okay, so I sell everything. My yard is decimated. I got motherfuckers that I could call that got more shit than me. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so, but I got some straws. So I take those straws and pull it out. And because of it's for preservation and all of this shit, and because it might have been a spendy process, these dogs never get hunted or anything. We don't put any vest on them. We don't hunt these things. You see what I'm saying? So on that particular level, would I be the source? Because I got these sons off of Michael Myers, but.
Ask the question one more time. I apologize, man. To be honest, man, I was actually doing something with the dog real fast. Ask the question one more time.
Well, just pretty much, if you got a dog, let's say you got Crash, and you breed them 30 times. Let's say.
And I sell every dog off it.
Well, let's just say he dies and you only have 2 left or 1 dog off of him left. You know what I'm saying? But you got semen off of him. You get your semen, and how most people do. They're not just putting the vest and hunting dogs off of these expensive ass breedings that's going down. I mean, let's be 100. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not doing that. People, they're keeping it for preservation purposes, So if I was the one that, just because I own the dog, he's gone, I don't have much off of him. How can I be the source just because I had the semen?
Well, I mean, in that right there, that's kind of like a tricky thing, and my thing on the word called the source, it's a word, you know what I'm saying, and it can't be misused. A person, you could use that for a peddling. That's a peddler's word in a lot of terms. You know what I'm saying? If it's misused, person can make an article and say a person breeds a dog, right? They sell the dog. Maurice Carver did this all the goddamn time. So he would sell you a dog and all that, whatever, and then he would get a list of all his dogs that came from his yard. Now you do know everybody knows Maurice had the funny ass pedigrees, the funny papers or whatever, but he would show all the dogs that came from his yard. You know what I'm saying? And he'd use it to his advantage by saying he was the source. You know what I'm saying? So like, meanwhile, Baker Davis, if you want type boomerang blood, you go to his house. Baker Davis sold dogs also. But guess what did? Maurice Carver did. I'm the source. Boomerang's not bred like that. So that term source is one of another things that is misused in these bulldogs. Much like you said, a person who buys a puppy off dog, that said dog right there. I mean, the word source is no one's really the source. If you sold all the 30 and they worked out 30 good dogs or whatever, and they were breeding them, that's the source. Most of the time you're not about to get the dog right off that said dog. I mean, that probably won't be able to happen again, but you have the dog off his offspring. You know what I'm saying?
Just like everybody else, though.
Yeah, just like everybody else does.
When a dog dies,
In my opinion, just the term can complicate things, and that word source, just because it came from a person. If I bred the dog, and I had even accomplishments of it, that's the home of the dog, but it's not necessarily the source because you sold so many other goddamn dogs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You are the home of the dog. Everybody, there's other people who have your stuff. There's no source of Mayday stuff.
No.
Because everybody got it.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And at this point, you got to look for who got it the way to your particular liking.
Well, you had to basically start all over. Like if I wanted to be the source of anything on my yard right now, I would have to, for one, it couldn't be off Michael Myers because people already got that blood. You know what I'm saying? You got big kennels with the blood. You got small kennels. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these dogs off of Michael Myers are being bred. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I would have to take the DNA makeup of one of those offspring that was bred a particular way and
Mm-hmm.
uh build around him and not sell my shit. You see what I'm
Yes,
saying? Not sell
yes,
everything.
yes, sir.
Then you're the source of that particular animal.
Particular line.
Right,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you haven't sold it all out. You haven't sold it out, you know.
yeah.
But my thing is, it's just like with any other thing, man. You know, if you know, you could be breeding pigs or whatever the fuck game fowl, you know, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As long as people can multiply, because you can't just pick like, okay, when I feed the
Well,
dog.
but let me say something. I was just thinking there is kind of an exception to the rule of being would kind of could make you the source of a particular dog is what you let out. So meaning, if a person had a good dog that was ROM, he produced a very good dog, and you sold dogs off them, but now you had, you know, because breeding is obviously, we know, strategy is a way to get somewhere, get what you want. So if you had double bred sons, you know what I'm saying, that you kept, and daughters of it, that you kept to yourself, that were breeding just real potent, more or less a concentrated version of it, I guess you could consider yourself the source. You know what I'm saying? Versus, like, say, for instance, if I was having a real tight stuff and I kept it to myself, whatever, and then I sold my dogs off the crosses, you know what I'm saying? I would say you could make yourself the source of it for a second, unless obviously somebody bought two dogs from you and bred them together. You
So
know
if
what I'm
you
saying?
got it, so let's just say if you got it the tightest.
Yeah, but that could be. I don't know if there's a thin line. That word, when people use it in the way that it's a play. It's a small word that really doesn't really mean shit. But in the dog world, it actually does. You know what I'm saying? So it's a word that people could use just to sell something. You know, like come fuck with me. I'm the source. I mean, just imagine. You know, anybody. You know what I'm saying? On any type of business, not dog, not even just dog. You know, and it's a word that they play on. It's a misused word in the dog game because again, like when you use the scenario of a person, you know, breeding a dog 30 times and he sells all the puppies except 3. No, he's no longer the source. He was the home of that particular said dog, but he's not the source. I mean, if you want to use the word, you could say, yeah, I'm the source, but in reality, if you break down the word source, it wouldn't equal that right there, you know, in my opinion. So, you know,
Right.
when it all breaks down, that word is just a tricky term.
So
You
let's
know,
say
there's a lot of tricky terms in the dogs that people use. We get from the elders that we pass down, and we don't even know what the fuck it means. You know what I'm saying? When you break down, it's just a misused term. You know, that's how I look at that right there. You know, that's some shit, you know, when you break it down, you're like, man, what the fuck does that shit mean? You know what I'm saying? And it is just a motherfucker really, it's for either for a peddler's thing, it's a peddler's term, or it's just to fuck shit up to mix, you know, get people's mind off fucked up. Because, you know, what are the, you know, like people who say they don't breed cold dogs or curs or whatever. All them old men did it. You know what I'm saying? People who talk about peddlers, and that term peddler is a misused term also. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, you got to get a dog from somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know, when people saying pretty pedigree, that's like saying what the source is. All them shits is like, what the fuck is a pretty pedigree? I mean, I know what they mean, you know what I'm saying, but that term is just misused. It kind of more or less gets on my nerve, you know what I'm saying?
So what do you think about the term, you know, people just breeding for paperwork?
I mean, you know, if you do, I breed. I like. Let me see. I want to be clear what I say. I like when I look at a pedigree. If I'm looking for a dog, I like nice, good, clean paperwork where the dogs are solid dogs. I can trace them back to this dog, that dog. They're all good. And that's good, clean paperwork. And if I was to take a breeding from that dog right there, I would breed it to a dog that checked out everything, whatever, and I would be breeding for paperwork also. I'm breeding for a dog, but I'm breeding for paperwork. You know, breeding dogs really ain't that easy, but it ain't that hard either. You know what I'm saying? Now, people think when you see a certain famous dog in there a certain amount of times that you are breeding for that right there, you know, and you could be or you could be not. You know, there are some people who just like their dogs bred like that. They like a tight bred dog, and they want it for a certain purpose.
Right.
Tight bred dogs serve a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Is it still, is it okay? Like, because, you know, like we're dealing with this YouTube and, you know, that's why we had these radio APBT, you know what I'm saying? This is why we do this, to get clarity. And so we can all be in on this shit together. You know what I'm saying? But is it just okay to breed something these days just to see what will happen, or just to try to do something? You know, like I'm trying to make a good dog. You know, is it?
You breed it like a breed, something like making a cross of two different breeds?
Well, no, just like.
Or you saying within the same breed?
Well, I hear a lot of people, man, and it's mostly come from the Facebook world, but people just saying, "Oh, all they doing is just breeding. All they do," you know, like, I mean, I know it. You know, it kind of sound like the sad girlfriend that you know, all men are dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, me
it's
personally, there's no way at this day and time. There's no way that you should be. There's too many dogs being bred, and there's too much shit going on. There's no way that a person should be worried about what another person is breeding. First of all, if he's breeding that, and if you've been messing with dogs long enough, you know what's what and what ain't what. You know. So I don't even like when people even make comments that say a person is just breeding. You know, they're not breeding for this person. First of all, you don't know what a person's doing. You should know. Second of all, you know, mind your business. Let a person breed dogs. You know, there's all these dogs. Obviously, they're serving certain purposes. You know what I'm saying? When people are breeding them dogs, if they're not, whatever. If you think that they're not tested, so be it. Don't get one of their fucking dogs. Period. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and if you like it, go get one. I don't even really like having a conversation about that with people saying they're breeding for pedigree, because the person who bred the dog, he likes him. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you know, there's, as a consumer, it's on us to know what we're getting, though. You know, to investigate. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you're getting. Don't just go see a dog, a pedigree, and just throw them get $1,000, $2,000, or whatever, and just go get anything. You know, it's kind of like a car. You're not gonna see a car at a car lot and just go buy it. You know, there's more that's gonna come with it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do your research before you go to the car lot. You know, see how people like that particular car. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, my lady, she was about to buy she had a bad experience. She was about to buy a Shih Tzu from a lady. I bought dogs before. I tried to explain to her, you know, she didn't want to listen or whatever. She had a terrible experience, you know what I'm saying? But she didn't do the research that I told her to do. All this right there, and you know, she's in the you know, where she pissed off, you know. And I've had situations like that too. But what I didn't do when and I wish I could put Dog Man on blast in your platform, but I won't, because I bought some frozen semen. Gave the guy my money too fast, and you know, motherfucker, his name is Rico from GDI. I bought some Captain American semen. Fuck that, I gotta say this motherfucker's name. I hope everybody listens to it. And motherfucker didn't even I don't know if he didn't own this shit or whatever, but I didn't do my proper investigation, and I really had to blame myself. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to chase something that wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? It happened. But outside with the breed, back to the breed thing, I don't think people should worry about what other people breed. There's people that are they're happy with their dog. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you go get whatever dog they got, man, be happy with it. Wherever you get your dog from, you gotta like these dogs first. You just pay you $2,000 for your dog, feed that motherfucker, take care of him, bathe him, walk him. You know what I'm saying? Give him a chance and like that motherfucker. You know. And if it don't work out for you, I don't know what you do with it after that. Just make sure next time you investigate, see who you're getting your dog from, because there's a lot of breeders out here that are breeding dogs for any reason or not. You know what I'm saying? That's none of my business. You know, and just make sure the dog fits for what you're looking for. You know, that's how I look at it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, people make this stuff too hard. You know, I couldn't imagine sitting at home talking about somebody don't breed their dogs for this way, or that's just a pretty pet. You know, I'm on Facebook and a lot of the groups. You got somebody that'll make a group. Everybody breeding all these dogs, all these curs. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
oh, they saying people ain't testing them and all this.
Yeah, man, that is nobody's business. You know, unfortunately, these dogs have been away. You're fighting a losing battle. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to tell somebody how to breed these dogs. First of all, the love is already there for the public of these dogs, and it's in different forms. Fur moms love the dogs their way, and you know, these cats love the dogs their way, and you know, and so forth. You know, and people are breeding, you know, these dogs like that. There's you know, some untested stuff goes well with somebody who's not working their dog. You know what I'm saying? And they get to have a good pedigree with a good name dog up in there. You know what I'm saying? And it is a game bred dog. You know what I'm saying? It is. And when you look at it that way, that's where pedigree actually does matter, or where how you breed it, because them dogs, when they do flip, and you know, they might get on the neighbor's Labrador who kept tormenting them, and it just clicks on. That is because of the blood that it has up in them. You know what I'm saying? You know, so but yeah, people are breeding these dogs for all different type of people. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way that you could even make a fuss over it at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's a lost cause. If a person is messing with the dogs long enough, he's gonna make it do a nice thorough search to get what he wants. You know, and you'll find what you want is out there. All the good stuff is out there. And when they meet you, they feel it's a feeling when they know a real dog man meets another dog man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. It's crazy out here, man, with these pedigrees and you know, but it does matter. I mean, now that you on that subject, you know, because depending on which direction the dogs went, you know, that should tell a lot about the animals. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got 10 generations of non-working stock, you know, I'm pretty sure you're gonna find out.
I mean, well, how do you know, yeah, you'll find out. You know, it just breeding does matter. You know what I'm saying? But there goes now one thing that I found to be the truest of the old timer saying is not when they say it's not the breed, it's who breeds them. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm saying it right. When you look at who's breeding the dogs, man, that almost means more than anything, man. You know, that is a true saying. You know what I'm saying? And you could talk to them, you know, see who's breeding the dogs, what type of people are breeding the dogs. If it's honest people, you're gonna get honest answers from them. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so the bloodline, you know, it could be when you look at the pedigree. A lot of people, you know, they have this misconception of having to see this highlighted pedigree. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and that could fuck with some people. You know what I'm saying? And they may not think the dogs are bred to true standard. You know what I'm saying? Which is, you know, a bad thing. You know, everybody put these colors on them when they look on pairs online or whatever, and they think that it means anything. I can make a goddamn dragon on pairs online. You know, but when you know the person and you see who's breeding a dog, like that same line, you know, that's where you could hold your money down. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me get something from him. You know, because one thing about these dogs, you know, it could be off. Let's say use one of the famous dogs. It could be off Grand Champion Buck or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or down from a grandson or granddaughter of it. But like you said, if a person's honest, isn't breeding them, they can, you know, not be what you're looking for. You know, because when we make the choices, what makes these dogs different from wolves and stuff is the men, we do selective breeding. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you let these dogs to themselves and let them breed, they wouldn't be what they are today because too many variations would come in and how they got the pussy. You know what I'm saying? And then even nowadays, we got frozen semen, which is a very valuable tool in breeding now. You know what I'm saying?
But I think it puts a different tool into it.
Yeah.
Because all right, let's say, check this out. All right, so we got, you know, let's say, let me say a dog so that it won't be nobody thinking I'm talking about them. Let's just say like an old dog, like let's just say Boomerang. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's say you got Boomerang, you know, like whoever had them way back in the day, breeding them. You know, you get some dogs out here, somebody else gets that line. They kind of keep that line going all the way up until today, and they got good dogs, right? And then on the flip side, let's just say you got this guy over here. He might got a Boomerang dog, female. She might be all right. And then he takes it right back to Boomerang, you know. I think that there's a higher possibility that because of the landscape of the game, like you really can't go through, you know, like the refining process. Like, I mean, sure, there are other ways to find out the quality of these dogs, but I mean, let's be honest, you know, when everything was legal, I mean, that was probably the most economic way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to refine. You got this Boomerang dog. Yeah, he's all Boomerang. The bitch might be bred, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or off of something else, because most of Boomerang shit wasn't bred back to his daughter. You know what I'm saying? So they had to breed it to something else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or so let's say you just got a Boomerang straw. You take it back to some other shit. And then you get those dogs, but you know, nobody's looking at no Boomerang dogs. You know what I'm saying? Right off of Boomerang. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like who? But then back in the day, when they first had it and motherfucker bringing their dogs up there breeding them, like they was probably able to go through whole litters and shit though. You know what I'm saying? Go through whole litters and find out what's the best one and shit. You know what I'm saying? What's the best two? And then, you know, they probably see somebody over there with a good ass Boomerang dog and it's like, hey man, you know, let's hook up, let's make this happen. And then, you know, and then over the generations, you know, they kept that integrity and creating good dogs rather than somebody jumping all the way from A to Z in one breeding, bam. You know what I'm saying? I got the Boomerang shit. You know what I'm saying? But that male that they got off of that semen, yeah, we breed his ass 200 times. But who is to say that he's better than that shit that had to crawl all the way up the ladder? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
So, like, what's the source? Like, we've been talking about the source, bro, for a long time.
Is basically.
You said
know
what?
I'm saying? Well, cold one, you know, and I would like to say, just last story that or the scenario you just brought in, I would like to believe that the ones that have been cold through were actually more potent and better than the one by that he would be throwing.
Right.
But you were saying what now? You about to say what? I interrupted you.
Oh no, I was just weighing shit out because I'm thinking about the shit too. I'm talking, but I'm thinking about the shit too and how it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're talking about the source and we're talking about because the semen. That's just my thing. Like if I could just be the source, I might well sell all of these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? If I could just sell them all and only keep one. And then,
well, I got some frozen semen off a dog. I'm not the source. I never even had none of the motherfucking shit. I just bought some frozen semen. So I'm not. I got having the frozen semen is not necessarily having a dog, but it's a big heads up on breathing. And it's a hell of a breathing tool. The frozen semen shit is now. But that doesn't make me the source of that said dog, though. Because shit, he do got it, and I got what he got now. Having a frozen semen and stuff like that puts us. We just, what I'm saying, we had a stalemate. If we were in competition, but I'm saying the source stuff is again that's kind of used to do like they have competition. I'm the source. I mean, why would you need to say that? You know what I'm saying? That term is just a term that I never really even used. If I was looking for some good dogs, and I go for where I know a good dog is at. You know what I'm saying? So that now when I wanted Sorrel's dog, I did go to Bert Sorrell, but that was who the fuck I knew to go get the dogs from. But actually, hindsight 20-something years from now, there were actually better breeders that the Lanes, I would have actually went to them to get to my Sorrels, actually, to get my Sorrel's blood. But now they work hand in hand with Bert, you know what I'm saying? But the Lanes had motherfucking shit. So, again, Bert, in the terms of using that word source, okay, all right, you know what I'm saying? If you say so, but these guys got it over here, you know what I'm saying? Pope, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, that term is just misused in a lot of ways, man.
Well, you look at the Waccamaw blood right now, and I know at least 5 or 6 dog men that got the shit tighter up close to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, who's the source? That's my thing.
Man, listen, in this day and time, because a person, like, for instance, they walk in my yard. All I got to do is have some money. Most of the people don't look at these dogs in a business aspect, and they don't have no bread. There's guys out here, and many both those are listening. They'll probably know who I'm talking about. There's guys out here that'll go buy your whole yard. You know what I'm saying? So that source shit is relative. I mean, it's a word that, you know what I'm saying? It's a word that you can't even really use. If I was a millionaire and shit, like, for instance, if Mike Vick didn't get caught up with the fucking dogs and shit, whatever, that nigga would just go over there garner shit, man. I mean, he'll go up at $1.5 million and go and get out the dogs. In fact, he'll go to a couple more million. Let me just buy the whole spot. You know what I'm saying? If he really wanted to. He had enough money. You know what I'm saying? That would make him the source, I guess, if you want to use that term. And I'm only saying something extreme like that because anybody can be the fucking source.
Well, that's what it is. That's what everybody...
If you're selling dogs, you don't know, when you're in the sales, I was in the sales business working at LA Fitness, and you had single club memberships, you had monthly memberships, and you had prepaid memberships. And now and then, you get a motherfucker who buy a prepaid membership costs $1,100 right up front. Most motherfuckers ain't invested in their health like that. But you will have a motherfucker get them. It's a piff. Bam, it'll get a little 3 year. You get a fat commission on it, whatever, and there you have it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll use that comparison when you have it in the dogs, a lot of people buy their way in the dog. You know what I'm saying? Much like the dude, another Don Mayfield. Don Mayfield sold his dog to this dude named Kirshner. Dude had the money and he fucked with Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? And I guess at one point in time, people used to talk shit about that dude Kirshner also. But I mean, it's probably a good example. People would try to. You got the UK, you got these dudes in Europe. They say Don Mayfield is the source still.